Subtitle: Chad, 1982, When Power Changed Hands. Let's rewind to Chad in the early 1980s, a country where civil war was the norm, not the exception. Picture it. Decades of conflict fueled by deep ethnic and political divisions had left Chad battered and divided. By 1979, so many rebel factions were fighting that they decided to form a coalition government, the Transitional Government of National Unity, or GUNT. At the top was Gukuni Uedi, a name you'll want to remember, but alliances in Chad didn't last. Gukuni's defense minister, Hissène Habre, was also a rebel leader, commanding the armed forces of the north. At first they were allies, but as power struggles go, tensions started to simmer. By early 1982, things were boiling over. Enter June 1982. Habre's forces made their move. In a swift military offensive, they marched right into N'Djamena, the capital. There was barely any resistance. Gukuni Uedi, he was forced to flee into exile. And just like that, Hissène Habre declared himself president. Now Habre's rule was a game-changer, and not in a good way. Backed by France and the United States, who saw him as a bulwark against Libya's influence in Chad, Habre established a military dictatorship. But his regime was brutal. The secret police, the notorious DDS or Documentation and Security Directorate, became infamous for human rights abuses. Thousands of people, especially from groups like the Sara and Zagawa, were tortured, imprisoned, or worse. It's a dark chapter, no question, but the story doesn't end there. Fast forward to 1990. Another military commander, Idriss Déby, once Habre's ally, turned against him and overthrew the dictator. Habre escaped to Senegal, living in exile for years. But justice caught up. In 2016, a special African court convicted Habre of war crimes, crimes against humanity, and torture, sentencing him to life in prison. It was a historic moment, the first time an African leader was tried by another African country. Habre died in custody in 2021, so here's the quick recap. The coup in June 1982 ousted Gukuni Uedi. Hissène Habre took power, ruled with an iron fist until 1990, and ultimately faced justice for his crimes. Chad's story is a reminder of how quickly alliances can shift, and how the pursuit of power can reshape a nation's fate. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by untold chapters in African history, hit that subscribe button. I've got more stories coming your way.